EMAS wants you and your colleagues to work safely. This vessel induction is a quick but important checklist of the safety protocols you're expected to follow while on board any of our vessels. At the end of this video, the safety officer will introduce you to additional features and protocols specifically related to this vessel. If you have any questions, please ask the safety officer or any of the crew. Your personal protective equipment, or PPE, must be worn while you're on shift on board and in all areas of the vessel except your cabin and the mess hall unless designated otherwise. The minimum required PPE includes coveralls, safety shoes or boots, helmet, safety glasses, gloves, and earplugs for going into high noise areas. Additional specialized PPE may be required depending on the task you need to perform, such as working at height, hot work, or working with chemicals. Only authorized personnel may board the vessel. At the security checkpoint, you'll need to show your photo ID and may be subject to a personal or luggage search. To ensure we're able to maintain an environment free from the adverse effects caused by the abuse of drugs and alcohol, no alcohol or illegal drugs are allowed on board. If you have prescription medication, please inform the medic or chief officer immediately. The illicit use of legal drugs or the use, possession, distribution or sale of illegal drugs on company business or location is strictly prohibited. Employees must not consume alcohol while on company, client or business partner premises, in company or client vehicles or vessels, or at any work site except on company-approved occasions. When employees are working in another country or company facility, then that location's laws and substance abuse policy will apply strictly. At its discretion, the company has the right to require employees to undergo drug and alcohol tests as part of pre-employment screening, reasonable suspicion, post-incident and random testing. You'll be issued a visitor's pass and will be informed of the next available time for a vessel-guided tour and then given directions to your cabin or place where you're required to report to. Once inside your cabin, locate and check that your life vest and any other emergency equipment provided is in good condition and ready for use. Locate the station bill and check to see if you have specific responsibilities in case of an emergency. Locate the fire or emergency plan and make note of where the nearest emergency equipment is located, as well as the escape routes to the muster stations. After you've been taken on the vessel guided tour, walk through the ship on your own to confirm your understanding of where things are, especially the emergency exits. Quickly becoming familiar with your new surroundings is important for your job and your safety. Emergency escape routes and emergency exits are clearly marked and must be unobstructed at all times. Make sure to familiarize yourself with the differences between the primary and secondary escape routes throughout the vessel. If during an emergency the main stairs are blocked, escape ladders and hatches can give you access to safety. Learn how to open and close the hatches. If the general alarm sounds, you will hear 7 short blasts and 1 long blast of the alarm bell. Put on warm clothes and proceed to the muster station. If you're in a work area, secure equipment first, then proceed to the muster station. Follow the clearly marked escape routes and listen to PA announcements for instructions. When you arrive at the muster station, check in using your ID card or move your magnet bar from visitor to muster. As well as in your cabin, additional life vests can be collected at the muster station. Survival suits and emergency escape breathing devices are available if required. Your safety officer will instruct you on their location and use separately. If the fire alarm sounds, you will hear one continuous blast of the alarm bell. Proceed to the muster station. If you're in a work area, secure equipment first, then proceed to the muster station. Follow the clearly marked escape routes and listen to PA announcements for instructions. Close all doors behind you. Some doors have magnetic release mechanisms that may close doors automatically or manually by pressing the release button. Do not take the elevators. Instead, use the stairs. Check in at the muster station, await instructions, and collect life jacket if required. If the vessel is in port, follow the instructions in the vessel mustering system and log out using your magnet bar, T-card or ID badge and muster at the quayside to wait for further instructions. Personnel with special duties will muster according to the station bill or as instructed by the ship's officers. If you discover a fire, close all air vents and doors and inform the bridge. If possible, try to put out the fire by using a fire extinguisher, fire blanket, or other available options. Never put your own safety in danger. Your vessel has trained personnel to fight fires and search for missing crew. If someone falls overboard, immediately throw a flotation device towards them and alert everyone in the area by shouting, "Man overboard! Man overboard! Man overboard!" Try to keep sight of the person in the water at all times and continue pointing towards him while alerting the bridge. The officer in charge will sound the man overboard alarm, which is 3 long blasts of the alarm bell and 3 long blasts of the ship's whistle. After hearing the PA announcement or man overboard alarm, go to a point where you can assist the rescue team in the search. If a catastrophic emergency occurs, the general alarm is signaled followed by an abandoned ship announcement over the PA system. If you're in your quarters, put on warm clothing, collect your life vest, and walk directly to the muster station. If you're working, quickly secure your area, then walk directly to the muster station. When you arrive, the ship's master will declare "Abandon ship," assist in issuing life vests, and direct you towards the lifeboats. When you arrive at the lifeboat station, the lifeboat coxswain will guide you onto the lifeboats to safety. If you are injured, no matter how small the injury, advise your immediate supervisor, then go to the infirmary or first aid point for treatment. If a serious accident occurs requiring a greater level of medical treatment, medical support arrangements will be made. All personnel are empowered to stop work or use the stop work authority if they believe there is danger to the safety and health of themselves or other personnel, harm to the environment, or damage to property. If you observe a hazardous situation, please correct it if possible. Report the hazard to your supervisor or team leader and complete and submit a hazard observation card. If you observe someone not wearing the full or correct PPE, stop the work and advise them of the requirement. If an oil spill occurs on board, SOPEP equipment will be used to clean up the area. Poor housekeeping causes fire and accidents. Keep your cabin and workspace tidy and maintain basic cleanliness and personal hygiene standards. No trash is to go over the side of the vessel. Segregate all garbage before throwing into the bins. Tools must be returned to the deck stores after use. Report any defective items or tools to your supervisor. Smoking is allowed in designated smoking areas only. Hygiene is important on board. Dirty work coveralls and safety shoes are not allowed inside accommodations or the mess hall. Lockers are available and shoe covers are provided and must be used during visits to deck offices or the accommodation areas. They can also be found at main access doors. Wash your hands regularly, especially before meals and at the end of your shift. Keep noise levels low inside your cabin, as other shift workers may be sleeping. Crane operations, rigging and slinging are to be carried out only by authorized personnel. Only the designated banksman can give signals to the crane operator. While on deck, frequently check to make sure you're not standing or walking underneath any suspended loads being carried by the crane. Avoid red light flashing areas. Do not enter barricaded or restricted areas such as the engine room, the bridge, galley and radio room unless you're authorized to do so. Do not stand near cables or rope when they are under tension. Do not use hazardous chemicals unless you have received instructions on their safe use, and always read the materials safety data sheet, which provides important chemical information. All personnel will receive a heli briefing before entering the helicopter. You're not allowed to be on the heli deck and the adjacent open areas during landing, fueling, or taking off except authorized personnel. Check your weight and your luggage's weight and report these numbers to the HLO. Transfer via a personnel basket requires permission from the bridge, including a review of the job safety analysis with the personnel involved in the transfer as per onboard permit to work system requirements. The maximum of persons that can be transferred by basket must be in strict compliance to the basket specification. Luggage is placed inside the basket. Personnel must stay on the outside of the basket and in between two ropes facing inward. A life vest or self-inflating life jacket must be worn. The EMAS safety program is called EMAS Safety Measures, which showcases the following safety measures. All hazardous activities will require a permit to work before it commences. Cold work, hot work, working at height or overboard, confined space entry and electrical work require a work permit. All work permits need to have attached a job safety analysis. See the ship's safety officer for approval and registration of the work permit, and take note of any restrictions he may implement. Upon completion of the necessary documentation, there will be 2 copies issued. One is to be kept on the bridge, the other should be posted at the work site. Sign off the work permit upon completion of the work. The work permit is only valid for the time specified on it, and you must report to the bridge upon completion of the job or if you require an extension of time. Monthly safety and welfare meetings are conducted on board your vessel, as well as shift and pre-task toolbox talks, which are formal meetings held by the supervisor or person in charge of the work team, and provides the forum to ensure that all personnel involved in the task understand the task requirements, hazards involved, control measures to be implemented, equipment and procedures to be used, who's responsible for what, and any additional PPE required. Case studies on past accidents and lessons learned are cascaded to the crew. If you see someone you don't recognize who is not properly identified with a visitor's pass or vessel ID, and that you suspect is not authorized to be on board, politely ask who they are, what their purpose is for being on board, and who is their host. If you're not satisfied with the answer, contact the bridge immediately. prior to your departure, either reinsert or remove your personal magnet bar or T-card from the muster station and give it to the safety officer. All off-signing crew need to be logged off on the crew logbook. A luggage check may be conducted. Thank you for your attention. From all of us at EMAS, please work safely and enjoy your stay on board.